Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready? Prepare for blast off.
Your fortress of solitude.
Greetings, program.
Glad you're alive.
Your sanctum sanctorum.
Resistance is futile.
Welcome.
This is the first triumph. This is where the fun begins.
Proof positive that geeks have inherited the earth.
It's showtime.
It's time to get your geek on.
You complete me.
With Dave Gramillion.
All right, welcome here. I am Dave Gramillion, and this is Get Your Geek On, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival, with over 650,000 people attending the event from September 29th through November 25th. Get your tickets at texrenfest.com. This is the premier talk radio show for Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, esports, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. See, geek is not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we are here to talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on Freedom 1160 Talk Radio and Freedom1160.com. This is Season 3, Episode 5, and today we've got a lot of news to get to, so we're going to cram in as much as absolutely possible. We have guest announcements that we have got to unveil coming up here very soon. We've got a bet that needs to be paid off. That'll be done next week, but we'll kind of recap who's eating bugs and who isn't. I'll give you a hint. That's not going to be me. San Diego Comic Con starts this coming Wednesday. So what does that mean? What does the schedule look like? What exclusives will there be? And why this needs to be huge for the DCEU. A little bit of Star Wars news in there as well. Little bit. Got some casting announcements that we want to talk about. And then after the bottom half of the hour news break, some big-time video game news for you esports fans out there. Overwatch League has officially entered the mainstream, and we're going to tell you where you can see it on network television. Yeah, it's officially there. Plus, we've got some DCEU news to talk about. Joaquin Phoenix is going to be the Joker. Is that a good thing or not? We'll get into that, and we'll tell you why Gal Gadot is our hero of the week. But first, let me go ahead and introduce my partners in crime here on the show. Looking my left, your right, across the radio dial. He is officially known as Clickbait on the show, but we'd also know him by his alter ego. He is Alex Chavez.
Thank you very, very much, Goose. I appreciate that.
Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Really excited. A lot of great news came out. A lot of stuff I'm actually really excited for us to talk about. So,
unlike the other shows where you're just not excited at all?
I mean, there's just a lot more here, just all jam-packed in that I'm very excited to talk about.
I know. We've actually, I want to get in the habit of fewer topics, but more in-depth. But good God, there was so much news that came out.
Oh, yeah.
We have to cover it all. So
definitely.
If you look further to my left, your right, across the radio dial, you will see the man spinning the ones and zeros. He is our sound prognosticator, and he is Goose. Goose, how you doing?
I'm happy.
I bet you are.
I'm happy.
Is that because of the news that we get to break here, the exclusive shattering news that we have
Oh,
here?
yes, from the Get Your Geek On special news bulletin machine.
That's right. So let's go ahead and let's get that out of the way right away. Yeah, we got some Alamo City Comic Con news.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, man. So we were able to get this exclusive little bit of news that nobody else has, which I'm very, very happy about that. Very happy because we have a good partnership with Alamo City Comic Con as well. We are giving away passes, and we love that the guests that they're bringing in, and we're going to be there, and we'll have a nice presence. And we love the owners, and I mean, those guys are fanatics over there, and they work so hard to put on a really outstanding Comic-Con, which is something you don't see a whole lot of in South Texas nowadays. I mean, let's face it. There's San Diego, which is coming up. There's New York City. And now Alamo City is making a huge push. Oh, yeah. And that includes having the official DC Comics booth and Alamo City Comic-Con exclusives at this year's event.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I always enjoy Goose's dancing. Oh, and it's not stopping. Still going.
So
Still going.
this is a big deal. This is going to be a huge booth. It's going to be some great exclusives, some great products in general. And Goose, I know why are you doing your happy dance over there?
Because I'm excited.
That's right.
Because not only is DC Comics booth going to be there, but there's going to be exclusives. Look, I have goosebumps.
That's outstanding. And if you're wondering why we're talking about Goose dancing and his goosebumps and all that, it's because we do also run a Facebook live chat when we record the shows on Thursdays at 6. And you can find that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO radio. Alex, are you pumped for this news?
Oh, yeah. I'm mad excited about it. Me and Goose were just talking about it a minute ago, how they had a great presence at South by. And if what they have at Alamo City is anywhere near that same presence, it's just going to be super awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of Captain America exclusives they have and Vision. Maybe something Black Widow.
Get out.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Just get out. Get out now. How dare you,
Hey,
son?
you said last time we can't tell him to get out because it's his show.
This is an exception
that's
because he tarnished the good name of DC Comics.
Okay.
So that is some huge news out there for Alamo City Comic Con. Get your tickets, by the way, AlamoCityComicCon.com. Look for their VIP packages, their 3-day passes, day passes, the whole bit. Alrighty, so news that we have. So last week I said that I wanted to bring back the August in San Antonio month. When we first started the show in 2016, in the month of June, I wanted to really introduce ourselves to San Antonio. And so for the month of August, every week we brought in somebody from the local geeky community. So this year, I wanted to do it again. We kind of took a hiatus in 2017, so I'm bringing it back in style. Our first guest will be Bridget Garraway, the creative manager for Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh.
Nice.
So, all those little events they have and the little commercials that they put on, all the little skits and stuff, that's always fun. All the little custom movie nights and whatnot. So she'll be on to talk about that.
Oh, so she's in charge of all that.
Yeah, she's
that's
the
super cool.
creative manager for Alamo Drafthouse. So that'll be the first weekend, the first Sunday rather, in August. After that, we're going to have Raphael in from Havoc. They're one of our sponsors, and they run a great cosplay group. And I want to talk cosplay with him. What is it? The ups, the downs, how often do you cosplay? What does it mean to them? That sort of thing. So we're going to get into some heavy cosplay discussion in the second week. On the third week, we're going to bring in, I like this guy. I really do. And he's, I think unique is the right word for him. He is Juan Gonzalez. He has his own podcast. It's called Con Culture Podcast.
Yes,
but
sir.
he also owns a superhero gym called Alter Ego Gym. So he's a business owner. He's a geeky business owner. So I want to bring him in and talk about that. And then we will wrap it up by talking to Lori Gonzalez from Nerds for a Cause. Now, she runs these smaller cons out of the Wonderland Mall for the Americas. She does a lot of charity work. She opens up a lot of vendor opportunities for people who may not otherwise get them at these larger cons like Wizard World or Dallas Fan Days because, it's big cost and big drive and that sort of thing. So you can do it down at Wonderland. So we'll talk to her. Those are our guests for the month of August. However, I was able just this week, very late this week, to get confirmation that we will have a guest call in next week. So it's not San Antonio time just yet. So I was very humbled and honored to bring in Stephen Stanton, the Star Wars voice actor who does the voice of Admiral Raddus from Rogue One, as well as Grand Moff Tarkin from the Clone Wars and Rebels, as well as being a voice actor on Family Guy and Robot Chicken and just a host of other things as well. So he'll be calling in.
So we've got a couple of Family Guy connections.
We do now. So it's only a matter of time.
We got a King of the Hill connection and a Family Guy connection.
So it's only a matter of time before we bring in Seth MacFarlane. I mean, it's just a matter of time, really, before we go that route. Or Mila Kunis, she's a voice. She does some voice acting, I understand.
Yeah.
So
she definitely does.
We'll
and then
get her in studio.
If you do get Seth MacFarlane, you can break the story that he's going to be voicing Howard the Duck in the Howard the Duck movie.
Hey, there we go. Wouldn't that be something?
We talked about it last week.
And if we can get Mila Kunis in studio and there's not enough room, you're gone.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
If it comes down to it. What's up?
I need you to get confirmation on something.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get confirmation here in just a second. So we had a bet, as we tend to do. We do box office predictions, right?
Yes.
And we really enjoy these. I'm now officially 3 for 3 because we did box office predictions for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, sir.
And as I recall, I did $75 million.
Yep.
And Clickbait, you said $85 million.
Sure did.
Yes.
And if I recall correctly, Goose, you called 90 mil.
I did. I was very optimistic.
Yeah, how optimistic are you now?
I'm optimistic about I'm eating bugs.
Yeah, you
on
are.
twitch.tv/GYGO_official.
That's right, because the actual total amount for the opening weekend was 75.8 million. I'm sorry, I was off by 800,000. My bad. I'm 3 for 3 in my predictions, by the way. But yeah, unfortunately, Goose, you were the furthest away there, so you're eating bugs.
I am. Not the first time I've done it.
Hate to break it to you.
The first time I've done it for money, though.
Yeah. that you remember anyway. I mean, depending on the bugs you were eating, man, you know, I'm just saying.
Well, we don't talk about that much.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's get to some other little bit of late breaking news. Also, the Justice Department, the U.S. Justice Department, the official Justice Department, is appealing the ruling a federal judge issued last month that allows AT&T to buy Time Warner. This will be officially the biggest antitrust case in the 21st century.
Oh, wow.
So the judge said, yep, no problem. Go right ahead. Yep, you want to buy Time Warner? Knock yourself out. The Justice Department is saying, not so fast.
Dang.
So why are we talking about what is obviously political and business news on this show? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, it's Time Warner.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's
So
AT&T.
CNN and...
Exactly. So you've got a lot of that going on. But also, this could spell trouble for the Disney-Fox deal.
Definitely.
Because if this gets upheld, if they say this is antitrust, you can't do it, we're not letting this deal go through, ain't no way the Disney-Fox deal is going through.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a prayer.
Oh, yeah. A lot of folks don't realize when you talk about the Disney and Fox deal, they think like, oh, well, Comcast is bidding this much and Disney's bidding this much. It's not just about the money. It's what they're going to let happen business-wise. And they're worried about the monopoly. They're worried about how those business practices are going to jive out. So there's a lot more to all of this than just the who's writing the bigger check.
Exactly. So it's that could be huge for all you Disney fans out there. But we'll see how that pans out. This is going to be months and months in the making. So with that being said, and with no more further to do, let's talk a little bit of Comic-Con news. Speaking of cons, this is brought to you by our friends over at Havoc, the heroes and villains of cosplay. Havoc, these guys are wonderful. They are a nonprofit charity group. They go to a lot of cons. They do a lot of LARPing, which is the live-action role play. But you don't have to be a specific type of cosplayer to join them. You can cosplay whatever you want to cosplay with our friends over at Havoc. So San Diego Comic-Con starts Wednesday. We are officially 72 hours away from the madness. And you know who's going to be there? Minion. Minion got a plane flight, and he's going to go to the San Diego Comic-Con. It remains to be seen if he'll actually get in. But at the very least, there's a lot to do outside. There are hotels that also hold events, and there are a lot of people watching to be done. So we'll get a lot of good pictures, I'm sure. So you can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO Radio, for a lot of really good San Diego Comic-Con pictures. So this is the con of cons. This is the Oscars of cons. This is the event of events for us geeks. Let me give you kind of an insight into just how big this really is. The Saturday schedule includes, this is not the full schedule, because to read off the whole thing would take up pretty much the whole show. The Warner Brothers Get a First Look at the studio's highly anticipated future releases panel, including Black Lightning panel, Simpsons 30th season panel, American Dad panel, Family Guy panel, Krypton cast, and creators will discuss season 1. There's also the Gifted season 2 preview, Supergirl Q&A panel, Arrow panel, Legends of Tomorrow panel, Deadpool 2 panel, a Flash panel, and what con would be complete unless you threw in an evening with Kevin Smith?
Well, the Flash panel should happen pretty quickly, though.
Hey-oh.
Gosh.
Man. Now, the Deadpool 2 panel, this is going to be kind of interesting. They're supposed to show an uncut extended version of the film. It's supposed to be like 15 minutes, 18 minutes longer, something like that, with deleted scenes they're going to throw in there. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, from what I understand. Ryan Reynolds was really hyping it up. So for those of y'all who
change the whole movie.
Well, we'll see.
Wow. So
maybe they'll add in a unicorn scene or something. I don't know.
So even Deadpool gets its own Snyder cut, and
it sure seems that way. So it's so many panels. It's so many Q&As. You literally could just walk into any ballroom, have a seat, and there's probably going to be a Q&A with some huge celebrity there already. Yeah. Plus, there are celebrities who just like to walk the floor.
Oh, yeah.
There was one year not too long ago, Nathan Fillion just like walked the floor.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Not even wearing like a mask or anything? Just
nope. He just walked the floor. And a lot of people thought he was just a really good cosplayer. That's how he kind of got away with it. So, but he just walked. So you can see a lot of celebrities that are out there. It'll be covered by major news outlets and everything. So
yeah.
The version of Deadpool 2, by the way, has been described by Ryan Reynolds as, quote, the super duper special screening of Deadpool 2. So not just a special screening. Not just a super special screening, but a super duper special screening of Deadpool 2. And also, this I thought was pretty funny. They're going to put Poe Dameron on trial at the San Diego Comic Con for mutiny.
Yep.
Because if you remember from The Last Jedi, you know, he disobeyed orders on more than one occasion. He overthrew Admiral Holdo, so he's going to go on trial for mutiny at the San Diego Comic Con. That'll be a lot of fun for you Star Wars fans. And, of course, you can't talk about the greatest con of the year unless you talk about also the exclusives.
Right.
These big vendors come out, they spend big bucks, and there are San Diego exclusives that you will never find anywhere else at all. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, like new products or a preview of this or anything. I mean, literally, it'll say exclusive on there. Can't find it anywhere else. Those exclusives will include a die-cast SS Georgie boat. From it's blood spattered.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the little splotches of blood on the boat, $10. Dude, I get that.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's really good. A Jurassic Park Raptor Claw bottle opener.
Nice.
$20.
What? That's not bad.
I'd probably still get that.
Yeah,
that's a lot for a bottle opener.
Definitely
but,
get that.
You know, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but you get more use out of it than you do the boat.
Yeah, that's true. The boat's going to sit on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
You ever watch Rugrats?
Of course, I'm one of them, as you always mention.
So they're giving out they're selling a 7-inch purple Reptar figure. Yes. Think about 7 inches. That's a pretty good size there.
Because this is 5.
That's about the size of your heels.
So that'll be $50.
Okay, that's what's it made out of? It's a figure.
Dreams and happiness.
Well, I'm wondering if it's a figure, if it's a plush, or if it's.
I'm not sure on that one. Huh. That one wasn't in my my little press packet there, so I didn't get that. Get this though.
It feeds off the tears of fans.
Yeah, that's about right. How about this? For all you Big Trouble in Little China fans, how about a vinyl soundtrack? Only 500 are made.
Jeez.
They're San Diego Comic Con exclusives, and they only made 500, 35 apiece. That's pretty good.
So how many of those are going to get purchased and then actually make it out and not destroyed?
Probably all of them, because they're going to go on eBay.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that probably 400 out of the 500 will end up on eBay or Craigslist or something like that.
Now,
at some point.
I'm just hoping they don't leave a box outside the building, because, you know, you never know who's going to walk off with a box of stuff.
That's true. It could happen anywhere at any point, at any time. So they got to be really careful about that sort of thing. Plus, this... Okay, I love this. This is really cool. A Lego Sheriff Deadpool, complete with handlebar mustache.
Oh, man, I bet that costs a fortune.
Free.
What?
They are literally giving them away. Literally. That's it. Come take one.
Which is pretty hilarious, because if you ever gone to like a con and buy like a minifigure, they're like $5 to $10.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on which one you're getting.
They're serious cash.
Oh,
Yeah,
that one will be
nuts.
at $500 on eBay within a week after.
I have no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll have to have like an eBay watch or something. We could do a report on next week's show. We can tell you which exclusives are on eBay for how much.
It'd have to be a couple weeks from now, but
Well,
just gotta
maybe.
wait till
Well,
after the
well,
con's
No,
over.
you know they're going to be
We'll
people who
see.
do it immediately.
Yeah, like they can't get. They will run into the building, grab the exclusive, and run right back to their hotel room and put it up on eBay. I guarantee that'll happen.
Oh, yeah, because people are going to be posting on Facebook, oh, look, I got this. And then someone's going to post a link. Well, you could buy it for $3,000 on eBay.
Exactly. So we will have some more to talk about San Diego Comic Con coming up. Of course, after there's the aftermath and all that to talk about. Let's get to just a little bit. We gotta at least talk about it. A little bit of Star Wars news.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Alrighty, so this is brought to you by our friends over at Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch location here in San Antonio. It's on the west side off of 1604 and 151. This is a tremendous place to go to. There's so many things going on. You have tabletop events, games, Dungeons and Dragons. You've got plush figures, and of course comics and graphic novels, and so much going on. The west side of San Antonio is exploding out that way, and you want to check out our friends over at Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. So Billy Dee Williams has been announced that he will be coming back for episode 9, and I'm just terribly not surprised. I mean, he was rumored for episode 7, he was rumored for episode 8. He's had back issues, so okay. I mean, no one's really surprised. No one should be surprised at this at all.
He's had back issues, but the fans are going to have coming back issues.
Hi-oh.
Dang.
So this comes out of the Hollywood Reporter, so it's not confirmed. Nothing is confirmed until Lucasfilm says it is.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, when Harrison Ford was injured on the set of Force Awakens, and people thought he broke his hip. They thought he fractured a femur. Turned out he just broke one bone in his ankle, and that was it.
Yeah.
But everyone flipped out.
He hurt a toe.
Nothing is official until Lucasfilm says that it
Definitely.
is. Also announced Keri Russell of Felicity fame and also from The Americans. It will be some type of role. We don't know what exactly, but she has been announced in some sort of a mystery role. So, again, I can't stress this enough. Neither one of these is confirmed by Lucasfilm. Do not, just take it with a grain of salt until it is confirmed.
Wow.
Well, I know it's not the right timeline, but if she was Jaina Solo, that'd be awesome.
Jaina Solo, or she dyed her hair red, Mara Jade.
No, because Shannon McRandall is Mara Jade.
Wait, I know, but I bet Shannon would sign off on being Mara Jade, on Felicity, being Mara Jade. I could see that.
So just so we're clear, you're saying for sure Lando's back in the next Star Wars? That's what you just said,
I'm saying
right?
it's a stone cold lead pipe lock that nothing is confirmed until Lucasfilm says it is. That is guaranteed. Get back to San Diego here. We only have a couple of minutes left before we got to take the hard break. But do you think there's a point when Comic-Cons just get too big?
Well, I mean, like now there's literally a lottery to get into some of these bigger cons.
Yeah.
So, at a point, you're not going to a Comic-Con. You are camping out, doing all of this to go to like 2 or 3 panels, best case scenario.
Yeah, because the Star Wars Celebration, I have friends over at the Star Wars Underworld, like Ben Hart, and these people camp out the night before or the day before. They'll camp out like 24 to 30 hours ahead of time to go to that opening panel. And I'm like, really? I guess if you're young and reckless and crazy, then you do what you want, of course. But it gets so big sometimes that you're right. You only get like 2 or 3 panels. Maybe you get in line for 2 or 3 celebs at the most over a 3 or 4 day event.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the people who saw like the stuff when they were releasing Batman v Superman, they saw like a 30-second teaser. Those people waited hours upon hours for that to be the only thing they did that day.
And they missed everything else.
Yep.
Well, when we went to Compalooza several weeks ago, we looked at lines and like, nah, too long.
Yeah.
And those were maybe going to be 45 minutes?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time anymore. I'm too busy for 30 hours camping out.
The Dallas Fan Days, the line to see Mark Hamill, to get his autograph for $195, by the way, that was insane. That whole autograph area, I've got a picture of it, was just mind-numbingly crazy.
I wonder if, in cases like that, if they ever make more off of doing that than they have off of some film more than like some film project.
Well, there has to be a point of diminishing returns at some point where it's like, you know what, okay, I can make X number of dollars doing this, but you get so many people in, And I mean, you can only write autographs so fast. If you're a celebrity, you can only write your name so fast, so many times. Of course, Alamo City's never like that. Just saying.
No, that's true.
But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, some of these smaller cons, like Corpus Christi Con or Greater Austin Con, you don't get the big names. You don't get Mark Hamill to go out to Greater Austin Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get Daisy Ridley. Of course, she can't go to any con, but I mean, that would be just mob. That'd be insanity. But so you can't get the smaller ones. But if you go to the bigger ones, I mean, it's just crazy. It's so big, so craziness. Did I mention crazy? Because, yeah, it absolutely is. All right, coming up after the bottom of the hour news break, a lot of video game news we want to get into. It's hitting the mainstream, guys, in a very, very big way. And some DCEU news, including Joaquin Phoenix being the Joker. We'll be right back here on Freedom 1160 Talk Radio and freedom1160.com.
Hi, this is George Newbern, the voice of Superman, and you're listening to Get Your Geek On.
All right. Welcome back from the bottom of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On Freedom 1160 Talk Radio, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. With over 650,000 people attending the event from September 29th to November 25th, get your tickets at texrenfest.com. I am Dave Gramillion, and if you missed the first half of our show, we talked about an awful lot. Man, we had some guest announcements that we unveiled. It is going to be San Antonio month in August. We announced who was coming on. In addition, we had Steve Stanton, who's getting ready to come on next week, the fabled Star Wars voice actor. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be a fun conversation.
And we had breaking news involving Alamo City Comic Con.
That's right. Alamo City Comic Con will have the official DC Comics booth. Yes, indeed. That's going to be fun, including Alamo City Comic Con exclusives. We covered a little bit of Star Wars news and their casting announcements, as well as gave y'all a brief rundown on what to expect from San Diego Comic Con, which is starting up here on Wednesday.
Yes.
Alrighty. So with that being said, we've got to get in some of this gaming news, some big esports news. Let's talk about it. Alrighty, and this is brought to you by our friends over at the Texas Renaissance Festival, which, by the way, we were just talking about them. The King and Queen invite you to the 44th Annual Texas Renaissance Festival, held every Saturday, Sunday, and Thanksgiving Friday, September 29th through November 25th. Enjoy all the magic, merriment, and romance of the nation's largest Renaissance-themed event. Discount tickets and more information can be found at texrenfest.com. Put some huzzah in your weekend.
So before we go further, I need to let people know if they missed any of what we talked about in the first half, then go to omni.fm, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Google Play and download the podcast of today's show.
What kind of podcast would that be?
That'd be an award-winning podcast.
Award-winning podcast. That's right. San Antonio Magazine has said that our podcast, which is basically the show gets recorded to the podcast, is the best podcast to listen to in all of San Antonio for 2017. That's right. The 7th largest city in the nation. We got the best podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
Bam.
Award-winning.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's kind of like when you win a award.
Yes.
We did win at the award.
we like the awards.
We like the awards.
We like the awards all day long.
You know what you also like is the Overwatch League.
Oh.
The Overwatch League has officially entered the mainstream. It has broken through the proverbial glass ceiling. So the Overwatch League is different. All right, all esports are basically made up of just teams. These are just random people who get together. They get sponsors. They get coaches and managers. They live somewhere. They eat together. They practice together, and they go out and they win tournaments, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Overwatch League is different. It's the first esport to have city-based teams. So instead of this team over here or that team over there, now you have the Houston Outlaws, the Dallas Fuel, the San Francisco Shock, the New York Excelsior, that type of thing, London Spitfire, and that sort of a thing. So that was different, and they were much heralded because they had traditional owners. Robert Kraft bought the Boston team, the guy who also coincidentally owns the New England Patriots. Big-time people were getting in on this. So now it's being taken to the next level. You can now watch the Overwatch League on Disney XD, ESPN3, and coming soon to ABC.
Gosh.
That's right. Not just, I'm not talking like, ABC.com or something on demand. No. The actual ABC mainstream cable network will show esports. I'm wow.
Like the one that used to play Supergirl?
Yes.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
That is insane.
The 2017-2018 Overwatch League inaugural season concludes with the grand finals live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. That's in New York. And keeping people on the same page here. That will be on ESPN and Disney XD July 27th and 28th. All coverage will be available for ESPN and Disney Network subscribers to stream on the apps. To round out the finals, a recap show highlighting the greatest moments will air July 29th on ABC itself. This marks the first time live competitive gaming has aired on ESPN on the flagship network in prime time, and the first broadcast of any esports championship on ABC.
So yes, in other words, all Disney, all the time.
Yeah, funny how that works. They struck a deal with the House of Mouse over there. The inaugural season will culminate in the grand finals, which is the ultimate showdown for the championship. First team to win the 2 best-of-5 matches at the Barclays Center will take home the lion's share of a $1.4 million prize pool. Play begins Friday, July 27th with the first best-of-5 match on ESPN and continues Saturday, July 28th with the second and potential third series to be on Disney XD. This, I cannot understate how big this is. This is monstrously, it's ESPN.
Yeah.
It's ABC.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big this actually was. Like, we hit on it a little bit last week as well. And I got a buddy of mine, Robert, and he's always tweeting about, like, the Overwatch League, the Overwatch League. And I'm always like, look at this nerd getting involved in the Overwatch League. And then I was reading the notes earlier, and I was looking into it, and I was like, this is a lot bigger than I initially thought.
It's really huge. I mean, they've got teams in Shanghai. They've got teams all over the United States. They're going to be expanding.
Two teams in Texas.
2 teams in Texas.
Yes.
Sadly, San Antonio didn't snag one. But that's okay. It's Houston and Dallas. I mean, let's face it. If anyone's going to get teams, it's going to be them to start.
The Houston Outlaws love us.
That's true.
So.
They do love us, which is kind of nice. I enjoy the love. But this is... I'm a little worried, though. I'm a little worried because the Overwatch game is so fast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is an incredibly fast game. It's not necessarily the best one to watch. This is not League of Legends. This is not PUBG or Fortnite. Those are easier to watch.
Well, I think it's easier to watch if you understand the game a little bit more. Like, if you've played it or you've been exposed to it a lot, it's a lot easier to keep up with. But you're right. It's not something in the vein of PUBG or Fortnite where there's kind of something happening that you can always follow along with. Like, there'll be times where you're just like, the screen is blowing up. Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's like I don't even know what's happening. I don't know.
Competitive first-person shooters have always been fast-paced.
Mm-hmm.
Even back in '96 with GoldenEye.
True.
I mean, when we were all gathered around the television in that four-way thing, and everybody was just looking at everybody else's screen. But the rule was you cannot look at anybody else's box but your own.
Yeah, but everybody did.
Everybody did.
Stuck to that rule.
No, nobody did.
There's no way.
But how fast did those games go?
Yep.
And now we're talking tens of people on each team, like 10 people on a team playing against another 10. So you have 10 different boxes. You have 20 different boxes to look at.
Yeah. Have y'all ever been to a live event where you're watching people compete in these games?
Not a real one.
Actually, I have.
Oh, okay.
PAX South 2 years ago had the Overwatch Winter Premiere Finals.
Definitely.
And I had the pleasure of I sat with Team Ghost. This is before they were city-based.
Yeah.
So it was just Team Ghost.
Yeah.
And I sat with them and I hung out with their coach and talked to them for a while. Great group of kids. I mean, they're really great. But that's look, I was a big-time gamer back in the day. I can't keep up with them now.
Yeah.
There's just no way it's not happening. Now that $1.4 million prize pool, it sounds like a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot of money, but it wouldn't even crack the top 30 in prize pools that we've had in esports over the years. Which, by the way,
that doesn't shock me.
The 30th, by the way, is 1.4.
But also remember this $1.4 million prize pool. This is in addition to their salary.
That's true. They also get a salary. Yeah. The minimum is $50,000 a year.
Jeez,
$50,000 minimum
to play Overwatch.
Think about that. How old are some of these kids? Like they've got to be.
They've got to be over 18.
No. There was one kid. Remember, we did this story.
Oh, yeah.
He had to have his mom sign because he was underage and couldn't sign the contract.
I was about to say some of these kids are like 16.
Well, one of them is
like,
at least.
It's nuts.
So this is an incredibly huge deal for some of these kids. I mean, they're making a lot of money. Plus, they get bonuses if they win. They get endorsement deals also.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the more famous ones. So. Wow.
And guys like us got to have regular jobs.
Yeah, we're just regular Joes here.
Some of us regular Joes have to have like 2 jobs. So,
yeah. The other prize pools, by the way, and I know people are out there wondering, the China Dota 2 Super Major for this year was $1.5 million.
Jeez.
The Shanghai Major 2016 was $3 million. The LOL, which is League of Legends World Championship in 2016, was a shade over $5 million, and the largest prize pool in esports was the International from 2017, $24.6 million prize pool.
But a question though, how much do those people get paid as a salary?
None.
See, so everything comes from the prize pool, and I lay you money. There's entrance fees. There's hotel rentals and all of that are coming out of pocket. So those prize pools are going to be higher because they don't have like the big sponsorships that you're going to find with the Overwatch League, and they're not paid a salary.
Yeah.
So everything comes down to winning.
Yeah, it's like a sales gig at that point. Like they have to be producing to make anything.
Exactly. And now the winning team for that tournament, by the way, took home top prize. There were 5 players, $10.8 million.
What?
So they split that.
I can't even imagine.
I'm pretty sure that would cover hotel and flight.
Yeah, but maybe. But what about if you lose?
I know.
That's enough money to make a better Wolverine movie than X-Men Origins.
It doesn't take much.
That's true. It would not. It would
just throw in X-Men 2 and say X-Men Origins Wolverine. Just take those those origin scenes.
Yeah.
Throw that together, call that a movie, and it's better than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
This is true.
Now, the world of esports, we've been talking about this for a while now, and it's growing massively in popularity. It's estimated by Goldman Sachs that by the year 2022, it'll have as many viewers as the NFL. Gosh. As many people will be watching esports as the NFL. Now, that's, of course, spread out over various games, and who knows what games will come out between now and 2022. I mean, this time last year, no one was talking about PUBG.
Well, and not only that, but of course you have the NFL, whose primary source of eyes is television.
Yep.
They do have a deal with Amazon Prime, or at least they did last year, and maybe on Twitter as well. Maybe that was baseball. But with Overwatch League, you have Twitch, you have television, you have all these different other ways to get content across that, of course, there's going to be more eyes on it. And especially if you have to subscribe to their channels. Through Twitch, that's extra revenue.
Definitely.
For that team as well.
Yeah, because they're just, like you're saying, there's just so many platforms that this one thing can be consumed on.
Now, a lot of people are watching this on Twitch, which is an Amazon subsidiary. And in the last 3 years, it has seen a compound growth rate of 21.3%.
Jeez.
In 2017 alone, viewers watched almost 6 billion hours of content on Twitch. Now, that includes people watching Mario Party and the old school Legend of Zelda, watching people play these old video games. Yeah. But it also includes a League of Legends and Battlefront and PUBG and all that kind of fun stuff.
Pinball arcade.
Even lifestyle stuff's on there as well.
Yeah, lifestyle stuff.
People cooking or vlogging and
that's
stuff
right.
like that.
There's pro wrestling that's taking advantage of it. There's pro wrestling podcasts are taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Of course, Impact Pro Wrestling does some shows on there from time to time, and Eric Bischoff, former president of WCW, he'll go on there and do Q&As after his like a day or two after his podcast drops. So yeah, it's being utilized in more than just watching people play video games.
Definitely. Now get this. Now, Parks Associates. They're an analyst firm. They analyze is what they do. According to their research, 10% of all U.S. broadband households watch esports. 10%. And that's significant because when you consider that 84% get internet service, that's nearly 118 million households.
So wait, 10% watch esports?
Yeah.
The other 90 watches Netflix.
Probably. Pretty much. So that's 12 million U.S. households watching esports.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. 62% of those households play video games for at least an hour a week.
Only
So-
an hour?
I wish I could play video games for an hour a week.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it wouldn't that be
Wah,
nice?
wah, I'm
No,
loose.
after a rough day, you know what I do though? I go and bring up WWE 2K18 and beat some people up.
Hey,
You
still
built one of the
say-
characters to look like David? Is that what you do?
Yeah, but he's only like 2 feet tall compared to everybody else.
Well, but the heels
The
help
heels,
balance him
the
out.
heels, yes, the heels.
I still say it's therapeutic for me to get on Grand Theft Auto 5, get into one of those big trucks, and all I do is just drive around the highway and just run people off the road.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that was 1604. My bad.
Oh,
Same thing.
and make sure you are subscribing to twitch.tv/GYGO_official so you can see him do that.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit. We're going to get away from the world of esports for now, and let's talk about some DCEU news. Alrighty, and before we get to Joaquin Phoenix, which is the story that people are talking about, our hero of the week, we got to talk a little bit about Gal Gadot. Gal, she spent her day with staff and patients at the Inova Children's Hospital in Falls Church, Virginia.
That's awesome.
And she did it dressed up as Wonder Woman.
That's even
Definitely.
better.
Now, I don't know if that was like the movie costume. It's probably not the movie costume. I don't think they
That
would,
one?
I don't think they would let that one out.
Yeah.
We don't know.
No.
Because if it gets ripped or torn, I mean, what?
I'm more than certain that like that was done in between filming. Like Tom Holland and like Chris.
Well, I'm
Not
sure that it
necessarily
was.
that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she walked off set and went right to the hospital.
No,
but
I'm saying that. I'm saying I think
she
that's,
she went off the set and walked right in.
Yeah,
and-
Benedict Cumberbatch did things like that. Tom Holland went from the set into children's hospitals. So I'm just saying I feel like that good look that we got at that suit is most definitely the movie suit.
So you're saying she went in the hospital dressed as?
She was.
As what?
She was there as Wonder Woman. I would have a hard time believing that that was the actual costume, though, because again, if something happens to it,
Hold on, the costume for
because if something happens to it, I mean, it's wrecked.
No, but they also make like 20 of those suits. Like, there's no way there's just one costume.
Well, I'm sure there's more than one, but I'm
Yeah.
saying they probably have one that she does just for public appearances. It's
Oh,
like,
I'm
you know,
sure.
put that one on. You're
Oh,
good to go.
definitely.
So during her visit, she was seen. That people took photos of her with someone named Carolyn. I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm sure, but Sahadi, a 7-month-old who's been battling leukemia
Oh man.
for 5 months. She's only 7 months old. She's been battling leukemia for 5 months
That's not
at the
good.
at the hospital. She hadn't left the hospital in 5 months. So Gal Gadot was there with the 7-month-old child who's suffering from leukemia, and so they got some good pictures of that. But she also hung out with a lot of the other kids as well. So our
Definitely.
hero of the week has got to be hats off there to Gal Gadot. So Joaquin Phoenix. Let's go ahead and talk about the Joker, because this broke. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, and so we just got to talk about this thing.
Yeah.
He actually thought about writing his own low-budget Joker origin story, which is exactly what this is going to be now.
Yeah.
In an interview with Collider, he said, quote, 3 or 4 years ago, I called my agent and said, why don't they want to take one of these characters and just make a lower-budget film about it? A movie, but a character study. And why not take one of the villains? And I thought, you can't do the Joker because, it's just, you can't do that character. It's just been done. Now, 3 or 4 years ago would put us about 2014 or so. So that would put us about 6 years removed from Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, a little after the last Nolan Batman.
Yeah. So that would be, when did that come out? 2014 or 15, I think is when The Dark Knight Returns came out.
The Dark Knight
It was
Rises.
2011.
No? Yeah, that was 2011.
2011?
Yeah, because it was 3 years after.
Okay, that's
that
right.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was still somewhat fresh on everyone's mind. So he didn't want to do it then, but he thought, maybe they should. And so sure enough, now they are. They're going to do a lower budget So you're not going to have all these fancy explosions and everything, but more of a character-driven Joker origin story.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with an origin story about the Joker? I mean, we've had 85 of them.
No, we haven't. We've had
comics.
one in the movies.
In the movies, but I'm saying the comics.
Oh, the comics.
Oh, yeah.
We've had all sorts of origin
But
stories.
how many of the mass public have read all of those or know about all of them?
I'm pretty sure it's federal law, but it's required reading. I'm pretty sure. I mean, we're not reading any. No one's studying geography or history or anything, so you got to be studying something.
Oh, I get you. They're just handing everyone the Killing Joke.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the Killing Joke, I think, is the definitive one, though.
That's
yeah. Isn't it? Isn't
Well, at
that
least for one of the Jokers, because there's
Yeah.
3 Jokers.
I don't even want to talk about that.
So he also goes on to say, quote, I wouldn't say that this is a superhero movie or a studio movie. It feels unique.
See, so I love the sound of that because it sounds like they're doing something very similar to the vein of what Logan was, where Logan is a movie about the character of Wolverine or Logan, but it's not necessarily like explosions and all these big things. You really feel for him, and it's a smaller story. It's a contained story. And if they can do that for the Joker and still capture that craziness, that wildness that he has, I think that'd be perfect.
I think Joaquin Phoenix is the guy to have in this role. Absolutely, no question. But, Jack Nicholson warned Heath Ledger. He said, this role will change you.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about this role. And, of course, we all know Heath Ledger poured himself into this. He locked himself in his room for weeks at a time, going over, like, original sketches, and he had stuff sent over from all the writers, the people who have been writing the Joker for years and years and years, and he did nothing but study the Joker.
Definitely.
And if Joaquin Phoenix is getting into this, you got to wonder. Jack said it changed him, and we know what happened to Heath.
Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix is the type of actor to completely dive into whatever role he's in.
I can totally see it.
Oh yeah, like when he did Walk the Line, like that. Oh, it's a great film in itself, but his acting is ridiculous, and the way that he dived into that character.
And when he was in Signs, I really believed that he was a baseball player. Totally believed it.
You really believe that he hated all of that water?
Yes, he hated all of that. He truly, truly did in that movie. They've got the right person. This sounds right. A Joker, low-key, low-budget origin story. We're not looking at Gotham City exploding. We're not looking at the fate of the world hanging in the balance or anything like that. This speaks to me. You've got a good actor. It's centered on the character, which is why I'm convinced it can't possibly work.
Now, the big question, though, is Batman going to be involved, which he's been involved in?
He has to.
He was majorly involved in The Killing Joke and The Untold Legend of Batman when they did the Joker origin in there. That had Batman and Robin in it. So is Batman going to be involved? And if so, how? And who?
I think at the very least, because there is a way that they can have Batman involved but not commit to an actor or anything. They could have something as simple as like we see the shadow of Batman that's maybe chasing him.
Maybe he soars overhead.
Exactly, and that's when he falls into the vat or whatever they're going to do.
Here's the big question then. Will this be told from the Joker's point of view?
Oh,
if they do that, I'm all in. Just take my money.
Because if they do that, then he's going to see the Batman completely different than how we see him and have seen him since 1989. Well, actually, since the 60s.
And that would be amazing.
I
would love that. They did that in I don't know if you're familiar, Goose. They did that with an animated short a while back where they did like different artists' interpretations of Batman. It was like... I can't remember what it's called, but there's one where they show you the interpretations of how all these different people see Batman, and none of it is how Batman actually is.
Then they did in Batman the Animated Series, they did like 2 episodes that were not the omnipresent. They did one where it was Montoya and Bullock in the building, and Bullock and Renee both told their perspective of it.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And then you had the Villains Roundtable, where the villains
almost got him.
Yeah, the villains told their stories.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Croc had the best version.
Oh, yeah.
I threw a rock at him. It was a big rock.
So
that's it. It was a big rock.
I would love that. There was a King of the Hill episode where they were volunteer firemen, and they all told their version of how the firehouse that they were living in had burned down on their watch.
Gosh. Yeah.
And when you got to Boomhauer's version, everybody else talked like Boomhauer, but Boomhauer talked normal.
Yeah.
So when it came
That's
for
amazing.
Hank Hill to talk, he's all, oh, no, God dang, propane.
Kind of like in Ant-Man when the Luis character
When
tells the
Luis-
stories.
when he was telling
yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it's all about chilling, right? And I'm all at this art exhibit, right? I'm more of a neoclassical, right? My buddy, he's a cubist, right? So we're all like not getting
Look
along
at that
at all.
girl. She's mad, stupefying.
Crazy stupid fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord.
And I think if they went that way, it would be truly exceptional.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is also why I'm convinced it can't
not gonna
possibly
do it.
work. It can't possibly
Do they have a
work.
director already locked into this?
Matt Reeves, I think.
I thought Matt Reeves was doing the Batman trilogy or the new
Yeah,
Batman
he's doing
thing.
the Batman.
Well, there is a director, but I just
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. But it just boils down to that.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's just no way. It's the DCEU. Surely they're going to find a way to screw this up.
I have no doubts in my mind.
There's going to be, maybe his origin story will be that he was an actual clown from a circus.
I'm down with that.
I don't. And then he couldn't make it on his own. He tried to freelance as a clown at kids' birthday parties and it didn't work out.
And then at the end-
and one day, one kid beeped his nose, and that was it, man. That set him off. He
Wasn't
became
that the
Joker.
Batman animated series origin?
Was it? I feel like they did something like that, right?
I think they did do something like. I'm not sure if it's an origin story or not, or if it's just the intro to a Joker story.
But I definitely remember there's one where it's that Mark Hamill Joker dressed in a
clown outfit.
Yeah, and someone's messing with him.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that.
Okay, so if the Joker's in it and Batman maybe makes a cameo, who else do you think would be in this movie? What other characters?
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, Commissioner
Gordon.
Bullock.
Probably
Does
Harvey Bullock.
does Harley make an appearance?
No.
I
It's
think
too
we'll
early.
see Quinzel,
Dr. Quinzel?
Quinzel.
Yeah, a brief little thing, but I don't think anything beyond that.
Joker, the Arkham series. Oh. And it's his time in Arkham?
Maybe.
Ah, that'd be so cool. Oh, goodness. So that'll wrap it up here. If you want to tweet at us, you'll find us at GYGO_radio. You can shoot me an email at davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. For Goose, for Clickbait, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, the Texas Renaissance Festival, Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, Havoc, and The Mailing Spot. Thank you for listening, and make sure to get your geek on every single day. We're glad you watched this video. We work really hard to put out some great quality content for geeks out there. If you liked that video, don't worry about it because there are plenty more out there. You can click right here to find more videos, more interviews, more clips, more fan theories, more of just really everything out there under the sun that we do. But you can also click here and mash that subscribe button because that way you just don't miss it. You get a little ping. You don't have to go digging for anything. We bring the news right to you. Just mash that subscribe button. You're good to go.